am the music god. This is the Noize Report. We're back again. We're going to redo this all over again because the last time around, I don't know if I lost my mind or StreamYard lost their mind or somebody lost their mind, but these wonderful gentlemen did an amazing interview, and it ended up sounding like we were shouting at each other through megaphones. So
we actually had a megaphone on our end, so
yeah, like it was just completely blown out and unusable, and I refuse to compromise on quality because it doesn't help anybody putting out shitty quality of any kind. So
absolutely.
So start off again, introduce yourselves, who you are, your band, give a short little, you know what, on yourself so that everyone knows who we're talking to.
So we are LYNX. We are from Calgary, Canada. I am Blade. I'm the guitar player.
I'm Fangs. I'm the bass player.
I'm Jagger. I'm a vocalist.
And I'm Flash, our drummer.
Nice. These guys have a couple killer EPs. They have a great new song that I kind of wanted to pound it strictly by chance, but then also noticed that it was Asher Media, who I get everything from. So it was one of those things where John had sent it to me and I just hadn't seen it yet because I get so much junk. But either way, courtesy of Asher Media and Canada and the great state of rock and roll, this is LYNX. The single, tell them about the single, man, because video is old school, it's new school, it's hype.
Well, yeah, Shake It Up. It's my debut song as the vocalist since the vocalist change. We just wanted to write a song that's a straight up party song, something fun to listen to, shake your ass to, and something just fun to rock out with. The video was
Man, the video was fun as hell to create. We had some great people producing it. Melodic imagery. Chris Worth and Brianna Garland, they're great. The girls in the video really saved the day. Because no one wants to watch four guys just fucking dicking around all the time.
It's always the way, man. Like,
yeah,
you know, gotta have the ladies to
right.
Sex appeal.
It adds the X factor to the video. So
sex factor.
That was you, Jagger.
No, nobody wants to watch a sausage party.
Yeah, right. So yeah, we were like, we were coming up with so we have another party song. So we actually really wanted like a party song, but I casually said, why don't we create a party song based on in a strip club, man?
Yeah.
And they took it seriously. They were like, yeah, let's do it. And yeah, that's how Shake It Up came in.
Anything to have naked women around me, I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of funny that shortly after I seen this and I did an interview with you guys, I was going through my TikTok and Ricky Rockman just got a TikTok, and he was like, he sent me a message and said, he's like, hey, he's like, did you used to play in this band way back? And blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, I don't know if you remember who I am. And I'm like, yeah, you're Ricky Rockman, bro. It's not like people don't know who you are. And he's like, I was just trying to find people that were at crazy moments in my life. And I'm like, yeah, well, it's hard to forget somebody who's there when a fucking full-scale riot breaks out. And but it ties in. He owns the Cat House, and the strip club Cat House is world famous, and yeah. So in this genre of music, it's expected. You got to have.
We should have shot the fucking video in Montreal. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, it is what it is. Like, it's just
Yeah, exactly. We are a sleaze rock band, so it has to be like that, right?
Yeah. For those of you that have not heard this band, imagine all of the great elements of like Guns N' Roses, like Guns, Junkyard, Dangerous Toys, a lot of all the great elements of those bands that we all loved, we grew up with. Many of them still around, still trying to slog through the hierarchy of garbage music that we're fed on a day-to-day basis. You know,
Amen.
trying to swim through the sea of the Post Malones and the Cardi B's and the other monotonous
I'm so
bullshit.
glad you said Post Malone, right?
You know,
Flash.
you know what's crazy is the new Ozzy record and the last Ozzy record is actually produced by the guy that writes all of Post Malone stuff.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy to think that Andrew has Ozzy sounding as good as he's ever sounded, you know, but then on the flip side of it, it's like, if you're that talented, I mean, it's obvious on the Ozzy stuff. This guy can play guitar. He can write amazing songs. Why the fuck are you writing stuff for Post Malone? Like,
The crazy thing is that the younger generations think that Post Malone put Ozzy on the map.
Yeah.
That's
Right,
the
right.
crazy part.
right, and that's
That's the trend now. So people are just following the trend. Like right
Yeah.
now, Post Malone, MGK, these are the famous faces in music, right?
yeah,
So they are always trying to like, like the old generation is actually trying to collaborate with these guys and coming up with something. Like, you know, I even heard like Ed Sheeran is working with Cradle of Filth, right?
yeah.
Yeah, they Ed Sheeran and Bring Me the Horizon did the fucking music award thing like last year. or some
Yeah.
shit.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
It's dope.
it's sad. You know, it's a sad state. Someone posted, it was a joke, but they're like, Kanye's gonna work with Varg Vickers. And I'm like, okay, I had to actually look it up because shit's so crazy now that that's really within the realm of possibility now. Like, you know, in of course it's not true, but in the process of searching that, I discovered that Kanye, back about 5 years ago, actually sampled a Burzum song for one of his songs. And I was like,
Wow.
Wow.
how the hell did Kanye discover Burzum of all the bands in the world and then decide to sample Varg's work for a rap song?
You can look at all of the posts, you know, great, and especially nowadays, all the remixes coming out like to reuse old rock and roll shit. You know, I work with a guy. We're all working men too. We play in a band. We want to play music for the rest of our lives. I work with a guy that's playing bluegrass music that has a rapper rapping to it, and the fucking bluegrass tune is "Sweet Child of Mine."
There's actually, I am friends with a guy. His name is Anthony Tones. He is one of the guys who wrote the theme song to the TV show Justified.
Yeah.
He's part of
Nice.
the group Gangsta Grass, and that's what they mixed the bluegrass and the like New York City, the Wu-Tang style rap.
Yeah.
And when I first heard that, I was so like, what the hell are you thinking? But again, it's another example of this shouldn't work. But when you really think about it,
Rock and roll
Gangsta
fits
rap.
into everyone's lifestyle.
yeah, well, think about gangster rap and then bluegrass music. That's gangster music. Look, some of them Appalachian folks, they were outlaws, they were gangsters.
Yeah.
And you take a song like from Bill Monroe, you know, Steel's Gonna Be the Death of Me, and then you put like a Wu-Tang style rapper over the top of it, and it just, even as unnatural as it seems, it sounds so amazing because it's so outside the realm of what most people would think about doing.
It just goes to show how talented the people that are actually producing this music are. Like,
Yeah.
be able to take two completely different styles of music
Yeah.
and merge them together. It's almost like we're watching music evolve as we're going along in life, right?
Yeah. And that's what I love. Like, you know, I've always loved Queen, and I love Queen partly because Freddie was so amazing, but also what I loved about Queen was they just rewrote the rules on everything. They were,
And I'll tell you right now, they're Another One Bites the Dust is the best song to have sex to.
you know, but it's just, I mean, overall, Queen did whatever Queen wanted to do.
Oh yeah.
No,
Whether
their
it-
arrangement and all and everything is
Yeah. You know,
different level, of course.
I mean, you 1 minute they were doing Stone Cold Crazy, then it was Good Old Fashioned Lover Boy, and then it was Best Friend, and then it was Flash Gordon. Like
Right.
Freddie and Brian just said, "Fuck the rules," and we're gonna play whatever it is we want to play. And
Yeah.
I mean, fucking Innuendo is like one of the most insane songs.
yeah, the whole record, like
Yeah.
even when their lyrics are completely stupid,
Oh yeah.
like the song Headlong.
Yeah.
You know, I used to know a man who ran a hot dog stand. You know, do why did he do. So I mean, the lyrics were nonsensical, but that guitar riff just rocked, and that's what made them great. Is they could take the dumbest topic or the dumbest content, or the most nonsensical content. I guess not dumb, but you know, it just make it.
When you can take a song about bicycles and turn it into a
Yeah.
fucking hit song,
Exactly.
you know,
my
yeah,
car.
yeah, you know you're on some fucking right track.
Yeah. I have said all along, there's a Queen song. Nobody has ever done a cover of it. And I would love to hear a cover of it. I think with everything going on in the world today, it's timely and it would be a huge hit. And that's the Queen song, Don't Try Suicide. That bass line and Don't Try Suicide is right up there with Another One Bites the Dust. It's got
Yeah,
that.
Nice.
I'm willing to put my fucking take on that.
That's what I'm saying. It's just one of them songs. The content of it alone, the you know, the anti-suicide, the bullying, and all of that is so relevant to everything. But again, that song has such a fucking huge groove to it. And not one band, you know, I've heard Dragon Attack and Flash Gordon and Another One Bites the Dust and more versions of Bohemian Rhapsody than I even care to hear. But not one person has ever touched Don't Try Suicide. And you think, Jesus, that song is just ripe for, you know? And
Let's see. We might give it a shot. You
Maybe
Maybe
you never
even-
know.
seriously,
You
bro,
know.
like, I'm telling you, that song with the right video put out as an anti-bullying theme and message in the hands of the right person, I'm telling you, man, that will get pushed and will elevate somebody.
But and
Good.
we're firm believers in, like, you know, as our last EP, Long Live Rock and Roll, we're firm believers in carrying on the rock and roll legacy.
Yeah,
What's come before us, the guys that gave us our inspiration to become a rock band.
mhm.
You know, why not take their songs and make it greater, or bring it back to life? Stranger
Yeah.
Things can do it. You know, Cobra Kai can do it. Why can't Lynx fucking do it?
I'm saying anybody can do it, man. And that's the great aspect of rock and roll is, one, you don't got to like everything. I will be the first to admit, and I get so much hatred for this, I'm not a Rolling Stones fan. There's
Hey,
nothing
am I.
about the
Neither am
Stones
I.
that
Sorry.
I'm a huge fucking Rolling Stones fan. Fuck these guys.
Yeah, me too.
no, I'm saying here's the
You just
thing. though.
divided the band, Chris.
No, I'm saying, but here's the great thing about rock and roll. I'm not a Stones fan.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's something to be said for a band that has been together for 60 years
Right.
Yeah.
and done what they've done. So in all fairness, I respect them to the moon. I don't
Oh,
like their
huge
music.
respect,
I don't
yeah.
listen to their music, but I will never, ever say a bad word about somebody liking them because, hey, you like the Stones? Great. I listen to Pink Floyd and that's my favorite band in the world. And I've heard hundreds of people who simply don't get Pink Floyd. They don't like Pink Floyd, and that's fine.
Flashy boy.
I was
just
getting
like-
Pink Floyd last night, that's for sure.
Floyd is the band that they were really one of the first bands that I connected to on kind of a different level.
Hey, if you haven't seen Roger Waters on mushrooms, you're really not experiencing Pink Floyd the way they should be.
Funny story with that. In 1987, Pink Floyd did the Delicate Sound of Thunder tour,
Mhm.
which was the final tour that they kind of all did. We went, about 7 vans full of people, the old shag and wagon style vans with the bed in the back and the heart oval window, and
Yeah.
You gotta love Michigan.
went to Pontiac Silverdome.
Yeah.
On the way there, my buddies are like, dude, you gotta smoke a joint, you gotta take some shrooms, you gotta take acid. And I'm like, no, I
Yeah.
don't. I've never touched drugs. And they insisted. So finally I just said, fuck it, here. So they, gave me some shrooms and I took them and I was fine.
Yeah.
And we got through the line and we got into the show. About the 5th song in, Mama, they're gonna drop the bomb. Laser went past my head and that light rolled, and it was like, oh shit,
What
it's the end of the
happened?
world. We're all gonna die. They're gonna drop the bomb. It's the end of the world. And my buddies are like, fuck. So my buddy grabs me, starts pushing me towards the entrance, throws his coat over my head,
Yeah.
and he's dragging me down the thing. The state cop stops us. The fuck is wrong with him? My buddy, being a genius, says, oh, he's having a seizure.
Oh shit.
So the cop turns around to call for help. Troy picks me up on his shoulder and just starts bolting for the exit. So we get out of the building before the cops catch us. This asshole takes me to the van, ties me to the goddamn bed
Uh-oh.
with a fucking extension cord that they had, and left me in the van, and then went back into the concert.
Bro.
Man, I wish I was alive in the
Yeah,
80s.
And
Right?
I'm like, okay, so the story among my friends is when they got back, I was talking to Scooby-Doo or something about cookies or some shit.
Chris, I know we spoke about us coming to Michigan here
Yeah.
last time we spoke, but I feel like you should really come to Canada, buddy. We'll change your world, bud.
Dude, I have never touched drugs again since then because I was just like, that's
Oh
it.
yeah,
Like,
Jagger and I will definitely change your world.
I don't know.
pleading the fifth. But that was my one and only time experiencing like a really bad high. But it was Pink Floyd, 1987, Pontiac Silverdome. 60,000 plus people. It was amazing while it lasted, but that was. But I love Floyd, so and Blue October for the same reason,
Nice.
is a lot of the same element, that same kind of vibe, and yeah. So what are some of the bands that influence you guys? Like, who are some of the bigger names that kind of made you want to be rock stars? And it doesn't necessarily have to be in this genre, but just maybe something your parents played growing up, or something you heard from friends or heard in school, or along
I
that line.
always said it's definitely Appetite for Destruction. That album changed my life, right? So yeah, that's the album that got me into music. Otherwise, I would have done something else in my life.
Mhm.
So Guns N' Roses, Skid Row, Cinderella, Motley Crue,
Mhm.
like most of these hair metal bands, like I am highly influenced from 80s. Like I cannot outpass 80s. Like, hair metal is something that is like, made me think and do music in a different way.
Yeah.
Love the guitar players from that era. Like all of them were like fantastic.
Yeah.
And all the guitar heroes are from that era as well, right? So, and I
Wow.
feel like 80s it was a fun time, like
Yeah.
not just rock or metal, like even pop music, disco, funk, everything was great. Even the movies were great.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I chose this genre.
It was a
And wanna
great time
stick
to be
it.
alive, man.
And
I think for me, like growing up, like my dad, like he graduated in the 80s. That was his kind of deal. So around the house, listening to those big same hair metal bands like fucking Motley Crue, Skid Row, Cinderella Rat, those big names, Wasp,
Yeah.
fucking. But yeah, then just. I mean, I'm younger. I grew up in the fucking early 2000s and stuff.
yeah,
So
he's the
there's
youngest one in the band. He's just 22.
No, it's,
yeah, no,
it's
like
good,
I
though.
had all
mean,
those like early 2000s rock bands and stuff a lot. So I mean I started playing drums when I was 6 so I could play Nickelback. So there's that. And then got older, got into the metal scene and stuff, but from there get into like the pop punk shit and try and draw influence
love pop
from
punk.
yeah, I fucking love pop punk music, but I try to draw influence from like everything that I listen to through my life and
Yeah.
make my own little thing. And I think that's the best way to do it, though, is just to take inspiration from everywhere.
Yeah.
And you have to. Like I grew up in a small ass town, so country music was my kind of thing. Dukes of Hazzards, George Jones, Reba McEntire. Country music is what I grew up on.
Yeah.
And people, I grew up listening to it. Country music and rock and roll go hand in hand. And it's true. It's literally true. Everything, from Robert Johnson, you got the blues, BB King, and then you got, fucking Alan Jackson and stuff like that. Like all of it can be blended together, and it's what I will constantly and consistently say. You cut me open and I bleed rock and roll.
Yeah.
But if you break my bones, all you'll hear is country music.
I mean,
Yeah, and I'm going with Pink Floyd, Zeppelin, Queen, yeah, all those 80s bands as well, but more classic rock. Also, Rush was a huge influence on me, and one of the other bigger Canadian bands is not that well known out in internationally. Tragically Hip. They were like, I grew up listening to them.
There you
constantly.
go. Chris knows about
Yeah, there we
Tragically
go.
Oh, yeah.
Hip. There you go. Yeah.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Trust me, when people first kind of come on the show or they first start interacting with me, I get a lot of questions about my name. How did you get the name The Music Guy? And people think it's some cute name that I came up with or something, but it really isn't. It was given to me by a 7th grade music teacher who essentially I embarrassed her in front of a class full of students because I knew more about music than she did. And that comes from my dad has been a truck driver for 52 years now. I grew up in the front seat of a Peterbilt truck for about the first 7 years of my life.
Flash Boy's mechanic.
Yeah, Long Nose Pete.
So this was during a time where we did not have computers, we didn't have laptops, we didn't have cell phones, any of this was the early 70s. I had books and I had music. So I would spend hours in that truck reading the liner notes of every 8-track, every cassette, every record that my dad carried with him. And my dad is a massive music fan as well. So Zeppelin, Bob Seger, Bad Company, Jethro Tull, Slade, Sweet, Jerry Reed, Hank Sr., Farron Young, Hank Snow, Conway Twitty.
The list goes on and on.
Yeah, like I grew up literally listening to every music under the sun. When my dad finally got married, he married a woman who was into Motown, so I got that influence.
Ooh, James Jamerson's the best bass player in the world.
Huh?
James Jamerson is the best bass player in the world.
At 13 years old, my dad sent me to live with my mother in California. That was in 1983. It was right when Sunset Strip was starting to blow up. My mom lived 2 blocks off of Sunset. So I spent more time running around on the strip than I did going to school. So I met a lot of these bands before they were famous.
Right.
Shark Island and Junkyard and Hollywood Rose. And,
Wow.
you know, I was a small kid who, when I finally went back to Michigan, when I went to get on the plane, I had this giant suitcase. Oh, crap. Stupid. Gotta hurry up. So I had this giant suitcase. I didn't have clothes in it. I had all of the cassettes that I had recorded off of KNAC in the radio station out in LA. Went back. This music hadn't hit the Midwest yet. It hadn't hit Michigan and Ohio. So I was bringing Motley Crue, Def Leppard, Quiet Riot, all of these bands back to my friends. And my friends were like, holy shit, what is this? So, you know, and then I got into punk, then I got into thrash metal and ended up being in a thrash metal band. So all of these influences, you know, but this stupid knowledge I gained from sitting in this truck. I can tell you Bob Seger's 9 Lives was recorded on April 24th, 1974 at Ypsilanti Studios. It was engineered by Bob Marlette. It was co-engineered by Kenny Kaczynski.
Wow.
You know, I can literally tell you all of this insane shit about these old records. So my teacher said something and I said, no, you're wrong. She goes, no, I'm pretty sure I'm right. So first thing I got home, went in my dad's truck, got the record out, brought it back, laid it on her desk.
There you go.
And she goes, well, aren't you just a little music god?
Yeah.
And it just stuck.
There you are.
After that, all of my friends, that's the music god. So for 35 years, that name has literally stuck with me through everywhere I've gone. And it's stupid knowledge of
Cheers to you,
hip
buddy.
hop
Yeah,
and
respect
reggae
that.
and metal and punk and country. You know, that is
So
why I
huge
do that.
respect, Chris. Huge
Fuck them.
respect.
So, since we're running low on time, because apparently there's a time limit when you use Zoom,
Oh, we
Tell
still have
everyone-
8 minutes.
tell everyone, where do they find this awesome record, this EP that you have? What is the name of the EP? Merch store, all of the fun stuff, where they can find your guys' social media and all of that stuff so that they can find this record. And
Best way to do it is check out our website, lynxrocks.com. You're gonna find all the links to music, our 2 EPs, the self-titled EP, Long Live Rock and Roll. You'll find that there. You'll find links to our social media, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, everything you'll find there. It's gonna have the link to the new single, Shake It Up, link to the music video for Shake It Up. Everything you could possibly need is gonna be found on our website.
And our merch too.
Oh yes, the merch as well, also on the website. So it's a one-stop shop.
yeah, I definitely got to get
Linksrocks.com.
some. I definitely got to get some merch to wear to go with all the
Definitely
other.
appreciate that.
I appreciate
Yeah.
that, man.
Yeah.
I've got a closet full of. like,
Oh, I'm
fucking
sure of that. Yeah.
um, and it'll blow your mind. I've literally got 48 Pink Floyd shirts.
Wow.
So,
I don't have 48 shirts.
Yeah, like, that's just the shirts. but you know, people always tell me like, don't you ever change a shirt? And I'm like, I do. I have
too many
48 of them.
options.
So you just think I'm always wearing the same Pink Floyd shirt, but I've literally got every one ever made almost. And even
for every fucking week of the year.
it's not up here, I guess. I thought I had I usually have my little LP thing up here. I have a little rare, super rare Pink Floyd Money vinyl. It's like a 45 and it's like white
Nice.
vinyl.
That's a
And
dope
it's-
baseline.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
anywho, this is LYNX. I'm the music guy. This is the Noize Report. Before they kick us off here, couple fun questions to throw at you guys, because we have to do the music god's random questions of stupidity.
Oh, I love these last time.
Let's do it.
I loved them last time. Let's do it.
I'm gonna throw one at you. Who wins in a fight? This is 2 names. You tell me who wins in a no holds barred, no rules fight. Who wins in a fight between Napoleon Dynamite or Pedro
Oh, Napoleon Dynamite all the way.
I don't know, man. Pedro.
Hey, fuck his Mexican ways. Oh, I didn't want to say that.
No, you
No.
can't. You
Oh,
can't.
no,
say that.
that's racist.
That's
Sorry.
racist.
Yeah, yeah, the white boy loses.
Who
Wait,
wins
what?
in a
Cut
fight
that.
between
Got it. Next question, please.
who wins in a fight between who do I want to go in here? Who wins in a fight between El Bundy and the Fonz from Happy Days?
Oh, I'm definitely on the Fonz. He's got leather.
That's the Fonz.
He wears leather.
Yeah, that is
Man,
true.
you don't wear leather unless you can take a punch.
Or throw a
He jumped to
punch.
sharks.
Yeah.
Wait, I was gonna say you got to go with Fonz, man. Like he got to act with Susie Quattro. Like that's in and of itself is like, let me find another one. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes,
100%.
Hawaiian pizza. Anytime.
Hell no.
As a trained chef, I have
Again,
the
you
final
split the
say.
fucking band. You're out.
So, anyways,
I
Link's
hate
looking for
it,
new
but
drummer.
I don't like it. I'm of the strong opinion that a pizza is not a pizza without green olives. I don't care what else is on it, but it's got to have
I'm
green
down with
olives.
green olives, but it's gotta have banana peppers, is what it is.
I can deal with that.
Yeah.
This is pick one. I'm gonna give you two things. You got to pick one over the other. Pink Floyd or Rush?
Oh, come on, Flash
Oh,
Boy, that's
it's
you,
hard.
buddy. Because he's gonna struggle the most.
I'm gonna go with Pink Floyd, but Neil Peart, seeing him live was an otherworldly experience.
Yeah, I'll agree.
So, but I still have to go with Floyd.
Nice.
I'm Rush.
One more. Tetris or asteroids?
Tetris.
Tetris.
Yeah, I
Tetris.
spent a lot of time.
Fucking
playing
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
I am a Tetris fanatic. Like
Yeah, me too.
Fuck that. Fucking right. Game Boy, buddy. I spent hours on
Yeah,
that
we,
shit.
we grew up on Tetris. Of course. Tetris.
yeah, I will still to this day I will smoke motherfuckers on Tetris. I'm
You're on. When we come to Michigan, you're on.
all right.
Get the
Remember
double A
that.
batteries though, buddy. 'Cause
Um,
the Game Boy's gonna go down.
Yeah. Like just to end on the thought, I did get to see Rush one time. My friend took me, Mr. Big on the very first record was
Yeah.
opening
Yeah.
for Rush.
Yeah.
And I had never seen Rush. I'd heard all the records up to that point and I'd never seen him live. And as amazing as Mr. Big was live, really no
Before you go
comparison to
Chris,
Rush.
is this post or pre-moving pictures?
Post, I believe. It would have been 1990.
Yeah,
Spring of 1990. I believe it was, God, I want to say it was the Roll the Bones tour. If I,
Yeah. Cool.
I'm almost positive.
Yeah.
It was either Roll the Bones or the one, it was either Roll the Bones or Presto. One of them two. I can't remember which one. I'm pretty sure it was Roll the Bones tour. It was Mr. Big's first record, the self-titled one. It was
Yeah.
shortly after that come out. So
Nice.
amazing tour, amazing show, totally mind-blowing. You know,
Paul
I was,
Gilbert, man.
what?
Paul Gilbert.
Yeah, it just
Billy Sheehan.
Billy
Billy.
Sheehan, Paul Gilbert, Eric
Billy is-
Martin, like
all of them, dude. Like Mr. Big were a
Are
fucking
Mr.
machine. Like,
yeah.
you know,
They were actually they live up to the name. They are actually Mr. Big.
yeah, like, you know, a lot of people don't talk about Pat as a drummer, but Pat as a drummer
Oh, yeah.
was
Yeah. He was on
You know,
time. Billy
like-
Sheehan is my inspiration, but Pat, man,
Yeah.
he set the standard for drummers.
yeah. Like you can't be a weak link when you have Paul Gilbert and Billy Sheehan
No,
That's
it's-
right,
standing
yeah.
in front of you. Like,
Exactly.
okay,
And
you
Eric
may not
Martin
know the
smile
name as
is
much,
beautiful.
but you know, you don't put an amateur behind those two. Like,
Yeah.
So with that said, we have less than a minute. This is Noize Report. This is LYNX. Check them out. You know where to find them. Go do it. Tell me you heard them on the Noize Report. Check out the video. Check out the 2 EPs. And with that said, we'll see
Long
you
live rock and roll.
soon.